Hey, Rob, this is Jeff. I wanted to send you this presentation or just a video that you sent me of Pincus. I guess it's the kid's last name. And what I wanted to show you were a couple of things, or talk about with a couple of things. Through the swing as we get here, you know, we can deal with this in his setup. I think, you know, it's okay. I think he could be better in his stance. I think he could have a stronger power base. I think his handset could be a little bit better in his stance, so to speak. But anyway, let's move here to the coil move. Okay, as he coils, he picks up his foot and he creates his stretch. If you notice, he's stretching with his coil. You know, the coil around the rear hip, right there. What we want to happen is that coil move to happen first. Okay, and then once he gets to this coil position here, now we want him to have some stretch. So you should be able to see at this point here, you ought to see his hands moving away from his front foot in this position here. But what his do, his hands move forward with the rotation. Okay, so in that position there. So you've gotten him into a strong position in this position here, and you've gotten him, you know, he's pretty good here. He's turning a triangle pretty decent, and you got some good things going on there, and he's got good spacing with the barrel of the bat to the back elbow, and both elbows being spaced very well. But he creates no stretch in this position right here. Now in this position here, as his foot plants, his hands should be moving. He's rotating well, so he's moving forward by rotation. So he's turning to plant the foot, which I like. But the problem is that his hands should be going backwards in this position here. Okay, well now once his hands go backward in that position there, then from there he is ready to go into his other part of his swing, which will be the separation. Now, do you see any separation between his rear hip and his hands? Do you see his rear hip getting in front of his hands? I don't see his rear hip leading his hands at all. So he's immediately pushing the bat forward right away. And that's because he doesn't create any separation or any stretch, after the coil. He's in a good position here. Now what we should see is the hands go backwards away from the foot as the foot goes to plant. And then we should see the rear hip lead the hands from that position there. And then we can talk about some other things in there. But for the sake of this, we'll leave it. We'll stop right there. And we got to get him to coil first. And then we've got to get him to stretch right here where he doesn't stretch the rubber band. And then, of course, get the hip in this position here, get the hip in front of. So he's not turning his barrel backwards. He's snatching the barrel out from underneath his hands. There's some good things from this point right here to here, or some good things that can be worked with. But the key thing is that you've got to get that rear hip coiled correctly, and then you've got to get stretch, and then you've got to get separation, the rear hip and the hands. All right, I hope that helps. I'll try to email this to you. This is my first attempt at this, so this is a practice, so to speak. Hope all's well. Thanks.